All right, so how would your kids feel if they knew you was watching this recap? My name's Kevin,
I'm Tarsha.
and this is Conversations with the Crawleys, and we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentaries on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about Ready to Love Miami, season 29 of Miami, I guess.
We're all up in Miami.
We started to drag with this one. I don't know. But if this is content that you enjoy, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
And share.
and we'll see you in the comments. Consider becoming a member and checking out the merch store. All right. So we were left with that cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun. Who's going home?
Corvia.
Corvia, you gone.
Corvia's gone.
She is off the boat.
They was like, get in that little rowboat. They'll row you back to the shore. You out of here. Peace. See you later. Sayonara.
Your journey's over.
Yep. You are not ready to love.
The Love Boat edition. The Love Boat edition.
By the way, that we did do a recap of that one, the real Love Boat.
I don't even know.
That didn't even make it through the whole thing.
No, it's on
It was
Peacock
trash.
or something.
I don't
Is
even.
it on Peacock?
It's on PBS probably right
It's
now.
on PBS.
It's
Wow.
one of them late donors.
Late donor.
We need money, please.
Send it to the princess. Cruise line.
So Demario was like, "Look, I wanted to use the lifeline. They didn't let me use the lifeline." Mark Anthony was blocking. I ain't gonna say the other word, but he was blocking.
He was blocking.
He was blocking. Y'all know what I'm saying.
It's like if Demario knows, love will come to me. Demario's like, I'm trying to hold on.
He was trying to hold on for dear life, and he was like, "Nope, Corvia is gone."
She gone.
So now Tommy's like, "Look, we're gonna go back to shore, see if we can beat Corvia in her little rowboat, and we're gonna let y'all off at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Let y'all do some dinner, dancing, whatever. But the ladies are in control now."
Mm-hmm. It's their turn to make the decision who's gonna go home.
Yeah. So there's some couples that are really not even couples. It's just kind of like groups that kind of are talking.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan's talking with Demario and Tony, and Demario's kind of like, yeah,
His connection is
my
gone.
connection's gone.
Cause the other one's kissing everybody. Is basically what he's trying to say.
Yeah. Sue-Ann is in a conversation with Mark Anthony and Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
And Sue-Ann, I guess, told Mark Anthony that she is a blend of Rihanna and Claire Huxtable. It's an interesting combination. I get it because she's a lawyer. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like she was saying she was like classy, but she has that, that other side of her where she can let loose.
Okay.
And be a free spirit.
More power. Yeah, let's work with that. Marcia's like, look, I'm a little bit Beyonce, I'm a little bit Rihanna, and I'm a little bit, I don't know what else, but that's enough for y'all to figure out from there.
I thought she was saying she was more Beyonce than anything.
True, yes. And then she said that she had to channel her inner Beyonce to make sure she was doing what she needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cynthia is talking with Blake and Anthony. She's really feeling Anthony. Mm-hmm. That's kind of her guy that she's starting to like. Oh, especially since her other dude, Andre.
The curl is gone. The curl is gone. He got COVID, and life started to straighten out. He was gone. No more man bun.
All right, so I'm dating myself, but what came to mind was if you've ever seen the movie Hollywood Shuffle,
okay,
with Robert Townsend, there's a scene where the dude, because it's like a bunch of clips of different things. There's a scene where the dude it was Keenen Ivory Wayans playing a character that had a Jerry curl. And they took away his activator and his curl started shrinking away. And he's like, no, my hair. That's what I was thinking about when you were like, the curl is gone. If you've seen that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're too young,
YouTube it.
Pull it up. It's a good movie just as far as like black in Hollywood. So, but anyway, other couples are dating, what have you. Marcia talks about how she hates eliminations because it it's like you get the feedback and you're kind of nervous, and then you're trying to figure out why they said it and how do they feel about you and all that stuff. So,
and I think everybody was agreeing that this, I don't want to say competition, but this environment that they're in, trying to find love, can be intense.
Absolutely.
So,
Blake pulls Susu aside.
Yeah, Susu aside.
Susu. Sue-Ann talks about how she felt like she was at the adult table for Thanksgiving, and Jeffrey wandered over from the kids' table. Which
she sure did.
That was a great way to put it.
That was interesting how she put that.
She does say that she wishes that she didn't get involved. That probably was what you should have done in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, because when people are gonna respond that way or irritating to the point where you're trying to be mature about it, because we're all trying to determine, are people here for the right reasons?
Right.
And so you made this blanket statement that and that everybody's after you. And then when you talk to the person and they're like, no, I didn't pick them.
Right.
You're like, okay, then who's really telling the truth?
Right.
So.
But then also, if you remember, Tommy did say at the beginning, what happens in the lounge stays in the lounge. That's
true.
And so Susu violated that by bringing that information out and bringing it to Blake. She
should have just asked Blake, where do I stand? And she was going to have to trust what he said, even if she's hearing something else different.
Exactly. Blake does say that he was thrown off by Jeffrey lying, and then he asked Susu, or Sue-Ann, I'm going to stop calling her Susu. I'm going to leave that nickname for him. But he asked Sue-Ann if she has any concerns. And she said, I'd rather leave by myself than leave with the wrong person. Blake says, well, okay, so if Tommy says I'm going home, are you going to be following me?
Laugh that off.
So if you remember, because if you remember, he gave her a bracelet, right?
He did.
Now, I think someone else kind of mentioned this in the comments, I think it might have been more of a territory marking thing.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, we did. Okay.
Yeah, we mentioned that he's pretty much, seems like he likes her, and that's where he want to set his sights is on her. You don't think he likes her? What is he doing then?
I think he's just gaming to stay in the game, because she's the only one that's feeling him in any way, shape, or form right now. None of the other ladies are feeling him.
Okay, but look at it this way. Based off of how he's been moving, if he was trying to stay in the game, and what about her leaving? Because all the other women would let him go, because he's not connecting with anyone else outside of Mercedes. But Mercedes, we're friend zone.
Right.
So it wouldn't make sense for him just to latch on to her when she could be gone and he could be still gone. He's not making more connections.
But I don't know. He's not making more connections because no one else is connecting with him. I mean, here's the thing. It's not as if.
Then why would he stay? Because he's not connecting with anyone.
The producers ain't letting him go.
I mean,
listen, we've heard enough from previous cast members of how sometimes the decisions are made really more by production than they are made by the individuals that are dating.
Well, to me, he doesn't make good TV.
He does, because people are talking about how bad he is. He makes great TV.
I think the more drama would be with Morgan and Tony and stuff like that.
That's an emerging love story. This is a conflict.
That's what you want.
This is conflict. Right, but you also want the conflict. You want the conflict of Jeffrey and Blake. Can they operate in the same room together? And so now you got this triangle of Blake, Sue-Ann, and Jeffrey. That's great TV.
Then I would put it on more on the producer than I would put it on him wanting to stay. Because you're acting like it's him wanting to stay outside of Sue-Ann.
I think it's twofold. I think that it's twofold. I think that he is using Sue-Ann as his only connection. Now, whether that is manufactured by him or the producers in his ear, I think that the only reason that Sue-Ann is getting all the attention from him right now is because he has no other connections. There's no other connections on that boy, on that man. So,
I guess we'll see.
We will see. Let us know what y'all think. Let us know. And if you're a member, you get the special emojis to let us know whether you're Team Tarsha or Team Kevin.
I'm be getting a lot of Team Tarshas.
No, because y'all be feeling me.
Whatever.
Y'all be feeling your boy. All right. So.
See who you want to feel. You're right.
Don't go there. Don't go there. All right. Moving along. Cynthia meets up with Anthony. Okay. Cynthia meets up with Anthony, and she's like, "Oh, he came around the corner." And she was feeling
suited and booted.
Hey. Find out that they grew up down the street from each other.
Yeah. She was like, I was the tomboy you didn't see. He was like, you, the tomboy?
They, get into a conversation of if she's ready for marriage. And she's like, yeah, I better be ready. I caught the bouquet at my sister's wedding.
She's like, I'm next.
That's the sign.
It's
I'm
a
next.
Sign.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
He looks forward to marriage. And then she does say in her interview, she's like, she's really feeling him. And then she's like, y'all gonna be saying, I like everybody. Yeah, because the only 2 dates I think we've seen you go on, you are gaga over them. So.
I think she's just really open. She's just like, and she said this, right? That she wants to be vulnerable.
Right.
And so she's really putting herself out here to find love. So.
She is.
Kudos.
Yep. Jeffrey has her date with Demario. And just a reminder, she had her first date with Demario wearing them rain boots, them galoshes.
Garden boots.
As they went horseback riding.
Right.
Then Jeffrey went on a date with Mark Anthony, had a good date riding a mechanical bull. She sat on a mechanical bull. And so then at the yacht party, there was one game, and it was like kiss your significant, your top person.
Your top person.
And she chose Mark Anthony. And Demario was sitting over the corner salty like, ew.
Not me?
Ew.
Not me?
So this is where we pick up where now Demario and Jeffrey have their date.
Right.
And she says he was standoffish on the boat ride.
She was like, you never came over to me. You never put me to the side. You walked past me. So what's the issue?
What's the dealio?
And he was like, it wasn't like you were looking for me either. You weren't checking for me either. So he was like, and you know how the game went. We had a really good time. We had a really good time with the game, huh?
Your lips was all on him.
Had a really good time with the game, huh? And she's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you picked
Mark
Anthony to give you a kiss.
And he says that
game.
you could have rejected it.
Not if I picked him. She wasn't trying to reject nothing.
So he says her kissing Mark Anthony is a hard no for him.
He was like, you gonna be putting your lips on some other dude? Not interested. But to me, I think he just kind of crossed the line when he's like, what would your kids think? I'm like, what do you mean what my kids think?
Yeah.
And she was like, my kids be like, oh, mommy's making a connection. That's what they would think.
Right.
So I just felt like he was out of line. It was no reason for him to mention the kids. Like, he was trying to make her feel bad about.
He was being petty.
I was like, dude.
He was being petty. He was trying to get under her skin.
And she didn't
because he brought that up.
Like, whatever.
Then, Demario, bruh. We got to talk about this one. He's like, I dodged 3 bullets.
3 bullets. Like he in the Matrix. I dodged it. Talking about he didn't see it without her makeup.
Yeah, the first one was, I ain't never seen her without makeup.
What? I got to do with anything.
Bruh.
What has that to do with anything?
Yeah, bruh.
Okay.
All right. The second one was that she doesn't take criticism well.
I don't think he didn't say anything that was a criticism other than he was butthurt.
Right. That's the issue. That part, right? We could say that he's insecure, right? She dodged the bullet of him being insecure,
right,
in this process,
right.
And then he said the last thing was, she don't know that man. He a random. She just kissing on her.
I'm like, you're a random too. She had one date with you. She had one date with Mark Anthony.
And Mark Anthony was pursuing her on the boat still.
Correct. And she's like, you weren't even pursuing me. So what is the issue if you're not going to pursue me? And so she was done. You could tell, like, she was just over it.
They were sitting there. I don't know if it was an ice cream shop or what it was.
It was a coffee
place. Shop. Okay.
And she's like, I'm just going to, like, stand upright and hopefully ignore him the rest of the time. And so he walked her out. Mm-hmm. But she was just like, this is not appropriate. And she was like looking at him. She's like, he's two different people. So I would rather him say, it was just a little disappointing because I thought we had a really good date. Right. And when you chose him over me, I was like, what happened?
It hurt my feelings.
Right. I thought we had a deeper connection. That's all you had to say.
All he had to say.
That's all he had to say. And then she could probably say, well, when I went out with Mark Anthony, I found like we had more things in common. So. Okay. It's one day, dude. But, you know.
And again, you know the show you signed up for.
They're going to be dating multiple people. And she wasn't tongue kissing him down.
Right.
It was a peck.
Get over it. All right.
Well, he did get over it because...
No, he's not over it.
He is over. The show's over him.
The show's over him, but he ain't over it.
So
I want to see what happens at the reunion because I know they're going to talk about that at the reunion, right? Mm-hmm. We'll see. All right. Marcia sets up a double date with Jeffrey, Blue, and Blake. Mm-hmm. It's a meditation date. Marcia is trying to figure out. She's like, look, I know there's some tension. Let's try and get to the bottom of it. What's going on? Blake is like, I'm over it.
It's not important to me anymore. I'm not hurt no more. I just don't have to talk to her. He's like, I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, because he said something to the effect of, she kept cutting me off. Dude, how can you be cut off when you're not saying anything? She was asking you, what you heard about? I want to talk about it.
You wouldn't tell her. So she was like, okay.
Cool. So basically they do where they lay down, kind of just relax, and the lady who's running the meditation thing, whatever, she starts running around some bowls or whatever, making a vibration sound, noises, what have you. They pan the camera. Marcia's like...
Everybody's supposedly relaxed, got their eyes closed.
Blake is like...
He's like, this noise ain't... This ain't for me. This is what it's torture. This is what we did to torture people, where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Now, we have some ideas about what that may be.
Well, he already stated that he was military police. And I know what you're talking about, but... We'll just leave it at that. We're
not going to diagnose him.
We're not diagnosing.
We just have some ideas of what that might be.
I'm just going to say
why he's acting the way he acts, and he's responding to the noises he's responding in that way.
Intelligence security. So
if you know, put it in the comments. We'll see. On. But we're moving on. All right. So. What else? Oh, so then they do kind of like almost like a vision board type of thing. Mm-hmm. So Marcia's is more of like Rihanna and
I guess people that inspire her.
Right, more inspiring, what have you.
Yeah.
Blake has a bunch of watches on his.
His was about time.
Yes. And
how time is important.
Yes.
To get the things you want in life.
It was a lot of watches and then like luxury cars and vehicles, what have you. Blue was like, look, I like traveling. He had lots of ocean and travel scenes and pictures, and he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and get real jiggy with it for y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and make it 3D. Mm-hmm. I'm taking my art to the next level.
My travel's open for the one I love.
And it's open for more adventures.
It's more open.
And Jeffrey is like, oh, we're in her interview. She's like, oh, we're almost alike. We're on the same thing.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me see. What is this? What are you talking about? It is. I didn't see anything related to travel. I think she was mentioning about family, but I couldn't even make out what she was saying.
Right.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, because she was criticizing Blake's.
Correct.
Where's the family in it? Da, da, da. He's like, no, I said the most important thing is time. I didn't exclude family. I didn't exclude anything. Mine was about time. But I'm still trying to figure out how Jeffrey's and Blue's match up.
Because the way I thought she was going to say, well, I got travel. She got airplanes or something. I didn't even see a location on there. I don't know what she's talking about.
She had a family here and a family there.
She had a family here.
It was only like 2 pictures, I think, on her.
No, she had several different pictures.
Okay.
So, but I couldn't make out what they were.
Yeah. What they
were.
So basically, Jeffrey is now feeling blue. Mm-hmm. Marcia's also feeling blue. Mm-hmm. And Blake's just sitting over there cutting out pictures. Mm. All right, so then on the other side of the marina, Morgan and Tony have a date. And she says he might be one of the persons she says that he was one of the persons that she was really hoping to connect with.
Mm-hmm. And Tony looking at her like a 6-piece.
Tony's like, look.
He's like,
you looking like a biscuit I'm trying to sop up.
He was just like, so we ready to do this? And she's like, maybe. I got other connections.
Right. Because she says she wants a man's man, right? Mm-hmm. She's like, she wants somebody that's pursuing her, what have you. She's like, but you need to know, you ain't the only guy. She feeling Lyndon too.
Yes.
And so, and she says, look, there are some great candidates here. And
and that's with an S.
Yeah. She said candidates.
I got candidates. So. And he's like, oh, so that's what we doing. I thought we were about talking about us. She's like, I'm letting you know.
She's like, I got options.
You don't got me.
She's like, you cool and all, but I got
reeling
options.
you in. I'm reeling you in.
Tony says he's ready to be married because he's tired of being alone. Right. He's like, and he's like, I'm tired of waking up alone. I'm tired of going to bed alone. I'm tired of being alone. She says that she knows that she's ready because she's happy and she's in a good space.
And that's good when you can be happy by yourself.
Right.
And you just want to add someone to the happiness.
And I think that's one of the clues. One of the things is that you don't necessarily want a person because you feel incomplete or you want that person to share in what you have, right? And so to be in a good space where you're happy where you are, but you want someone to share in the happiness with you, that's where you need to be, right? So they do kiss. And it ain't a peck like Linda or like Mark Anthony and Jeffrey. It was a kiss.
They were kissing.
And he was like, look, let me go ahead and go back in again. Like, watch them hands, bro. Them hands were sliding down.
I didn't notice that.
Hands was like,
slip.
So, all right. Blake goes out with Janique. And she's like, I'm feeling him. Like, he's a thinker.
Yeah, she's like, I like thinking. I like thinking. I like logical men. So, well,
that was evidently filmed before she went on the date with him.
Yeah, because there was no type of connection. Nor do I feel like he was trying. I think a lot of times we should enjoy people's company to learn about them. But he wasn't really interested. He was like, she's on one side of the spectrum. I'm on the other side of the spectrum. And I'm like,
spectrum?
So, I think he could have put a little more effort into it, and get to know her. Because he did ask her, like, okay, what do you like to do for fun? And she's like, I'm into makeup and I'm into doing different things and blah, blah, blah. She's like, me and my family, we hang out. So I think she was trying to really share and be open. She tried. I felt the effort on her side.
She was making the effort. I mean, she got him. She ordered a drink for him, cranberry juice before he got there.
And he seemed like he was like, oh, you listen to something I like.
Yep. And then she asked him where you feel you are in this process. And he said, well, you asked me a general question, so I'm going to give you a general answer.
I was like, wow. Alrighty, dude.
So this is, go ahead.
This would be one of those bad, like, dates you pick up on a dating app and then you're like, I swiped wrong.
Janique, if you get put on a date with him again, in fact, just tell one of your friends, look, call me at about 5 minutes in and give the code, if she needs to give the code word that all of a sudden there's an emergency, listen, break out.
I'll be like, I'm really here. We just can't eat our food and pretend like we don't even know each other.
Like, who is it? Marshawn Lynch? You know why I'm here.
Right.
You know why I'm here. Just look at the camera all the time and be like, you know why I'm here.
Right. Because I was like, dude. Because if the food wasn't good, I was like, we're gone.
Yeah, so this is where we find out that he was Department of Defense, he was military police, he's security consultant, all of those things. So, or corporate security, I should say. So it's time for the ladies' lounge. And Tommy's like, okay, what's been happening this week? So the ladies start recapping their dates that they had, kind of where they are, and who they're feeling. For Cynthia, she's like, definitely it's Anthony. They're both Haitians. That's who she's feeling. Marcia again says that she's feeling Blue. Morgan feeling Tony and Lyndon. Sue Ann says her top is Blake and Anthony. And we haven't seen her on a date with Anthony yet, but Mercedes is feeling Anthony and Mark Anthony, which could probably get very confusing. And then Jeffrey is feeling Mark Anthony.
Exactly.
So on the other side of who they're not feeling, Jeffrey's like, her and Demario just haven't connected. It's not anything bad. They just really haven't connected. Mercedes and Jeffrey both talk about Demario, and Jeffrey even recaps the date with Demario. And then says, and by the way, he texted this morning. So he texted her that morning and basically like, I think we need to resolve our things.
It got resolved.
You knew that Ladies Lounge was coming up. And you want to try and get a good word in before the ladies went into the lounge.
Too late.
And then while she's kind of talking about that, Sue Ann jumps in. And Jeffrey's like, oh, you're the advocate for men. Because you just love to jump in and be an advocate for Blake and any of the other guys. Why are you so concerned or pressed about what I do? And I'm going to have to agree with Jeffrey on this.
Oh, you're agreeing with her?
I'm going to agree with Jeffrey on this.
Interesting.
I think that it's interesting again that, and again, this is all what we're being presented with. We recognize that there's edits and what have you, but it seems like Sue Ann is doing a lot extra on behalf of Blake. Okay. You ain't got nothing to say about that?
That's your thought.
Okay.
I thought she was trying to come back at her for making a snide comment because she was like, I thought you were into him. Are you not? Are you into him or are you not into him? So I think she's still a little ticked off about that previous conversation. So that's why she was like trying to interject like, okay, did you feel Demario or not? Like she's trying to catch her into something. So I'm thinking that's where that's coming from.
And I could hear that. But again, if we look at where Sue, because let's just be honest, we haven't heard Sue Ann's name ring out a lot, except in Blake's mouth, right? I haven't heard a lot of the guys mention Sue Ann. The only time we're really hearing Sue Ann is in relation to Blake and Jeffrey. So again, it's just strange. It's weird.
I don't think it's weird because I think she likes Blake, and so
Blake, but
she's just trying to. But she didn't mention it wasn't about Blake. She was mentioning when she was talking to Jeffrey. She was trying to mention about Demario because she was first saying Demario, he's my strong connection, and so Sue Ann was like, hold on, how's now Mark Anthony your strong connection when you were saying this? So she really didn't mention Blake.
Right, but I think my point is this, is that we just see you constantly going at Jeffrey. And the issue that you have with Jeffrey, in my opinion, stems from what she heard from Jeffrey in the thing.
Because there was an attitude. I said she had a little attitude, and she was following up with the attitude, trying to catch her in a lie.
Right, but again, it has more to do with it's.
But it's not weird.
It is weird because it's in defense of Blake, who.
Not if you had a little tiff with somebody and you was still annoyed with them, you're trying to catch them in something. So it's still a little. It's the same tiff.
But your annoyance sprung from defense of some guy
because she liked them.
Oh, exactly.
Well, how's that weird? It's not weird.
Y'all let us know what you think again.
It's not weird. You're calling it weird.
It's weird.
That is not weird. We've seen other people come to other people's offense. It's not weird.
But not consistently all the time picking at somebody.
It's not consistent all the time. It's just because of the boat ride. They had a boat ride where they had a tiff. They didn't get it resolved. So then Jeffrey makes a comment about Demario, and then Sue-Ann is like, were you not feeling him? I thought that was your strong connection. She was like, it's not. So then Jeffrey's trying to put her little 2 cents back in. Oh, so now you just all in my business. Like, chick, it was one event. And now all of a sudden I'm all in your business. And now I'm an advocate for all men. That is just Jeffrey just picking at her. That's what that is. Okay. So we can't blow it out to be any more than that.
Let us know your thoughts.
I don't read comments. So
Team
you
Kevin.
Keep your thoughts.
Team Tarsha. All right. So then, who else is there? Morgan says that she's not feeling Blake and Demario. Janique is not feeling Blake. Morgan feels that Blake attacked her in some of his comments the first time that they were talking back at the mixer. Mercedes says that she gets Blake, but there's not a connection. That's the homie. She gets him. She understands him, but that ain't it. Sue-Ann again defends Blake. Cynthia and Marcia both say that Mark Anthony is not really on their list. And Cynthia says it's because for her, Mark Anthony doesn't want to date anyone with kids. Janique, then it's left to the dates, right? So Janique goes on a date with Demario. Blake goes on her date with Blake goes on his date, with Cynthia. Demario gets there. He says his date is unexpected. And so she ordered him a drink just like she did for Blake. So she's consistent. He says that he prejudged her. So, and then she talks about how he got locked in on Corvia and kind of at the expense of everybody else. So nobody else really had a chance to get a connection with him. And you're gone. You're not ready to love.
Not ready to love, bro.
Blake does meet with Cynthia, and he says he's surprised to see her, but he also knows, hey, it's that time of the week.
He's paying attention.
He says his journey has been awesome. She likes him as a person and does understand him so far. But she's like, look, your delivery sucks.
And she's very straightforward with him, and he receives it.
Yeah, he does. All right. So then he doesn't really receive it because he's like, I got mixed emotions about her feedback. That's what he said. That's his words.
Okay.
So he really wasn't receiving her feedback that well. But needless to say, he said he stays because production wanted him to stay, in my opinion.
Good for production.
Yep. All right, so that's it. We see you next week. Just Sue-Ann is on Blake's lap in the trailer, so they at least have another date. And we'll see how things go. Again, next week it is another ladies elimination. Any ideas on who's going to be going home?
Probably Janique.
Janique is a potential, yes, because her only connection that I think we've seen is Tony, and Tony is more in on Morgan, I think. Yeah.
I thought, wasn't it Mark Anthony? Did she have a date with Mark Anthony? Or was it London? She had a date with London, I thought went well. Because she was talking about turning up together and then sometimes being home because he has the nightlife.
That's true. Yes.
But that's the only one that's showed up, and that was just in the second episode.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your comments, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
bye.